Hello everybody, this is Mrs. Woodall. I've been asked to record a little video, a little how-to for mind mapping. Mind mapping is a really good way of revising. It is a graphical representation, if you like, a way of putting into a picture everything that you know. And it's a good way to help you to organise your thoughts, to organise the ideas that you've got, to organise the knowledge that you've got, and to start to make links between that knowledge. That's really important. It's really going to help you to remember things, to be able to recall information when you're in an exam, and it's going to give you a real advantage and is a really useful tool as part of your revision. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is to try and show you an example of how you would go about making a mind map. So obviously, being a science teacher, the mind map that I'm going to do today is for required practicals for chemistry. Okay, so whenever you do a mind map, you want to think about the topic that you want to revise to start with. And that could be as big or as small as you want. So mind maps can be really big and broad, or they can really focus on one particular thing. Okay, I'm going to do required practicals. So on my piece of paper here, I'm going to put required practicals right in the middle. And then I'm going to do a little bubble around it. You could do a square, you could do a circle, whatever takes your fancy. Okay. Then coming off of that, I have to put my branches. This is drilling down to the next level. So what is included? What is a part of required practicals? What is the next thing that I need to think about? I'm going to think about those subtopics. Okay. So for chemistry, I know that we have a required practical on chromatography. Okay, so I'm going to put that on my next branch. I know that we have a required practical on making salts. Okay, so that's going to be one of my branches. We have a required practical that is all about electrolysis. So I'll put that on there. We have one on exothermic and endothermic reactions. Okay, and if you can see that, I've just written exo/endo. I don't need to write out full words, full sentences on a mind map. As long as it makes sense to me, that is all that is going to be important. Okay, it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. This is for me, for my revision. Okay, what else have we got? We've got a required practical that is about potable water. Okay, so I'm going to write that down there. And that's all of my required practicals. So now I've got my central point. I'm revising required practicals for chemistry, and I've written down every required practical. That's the next sub-level. Okay. What I do now is I pick one of these. I choose one of my branches and I really drill down into it. Okay, so I make more branches off of that subsection and I write down everything that I know. I can add pictures to it if I want to. I can add colour to it if I wanted to. So you might have chosen to do each one of your branches a different colour. That's absolutely fine. I don't have that many colours at home, so I'm not going to, but you could if you wanted to. I'm going to take chromatography now. Okay, so this is the one I'm going to drill down into to start with. Now I know the first thing that comes to mind when I say chromatography, separating colours. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. Chromatography is all about separating colours. And I know that I'm looking at the number of dots to tell me how many things are in it. And I know if I'm separating things out, it must be a mixture. Okay. The next thing I'm going to think about, and something that's really important for my required practicals, what does it look like? How do I do it? So what I'm going to do, actually down here, is draw a diagram. Okay, and for this, that might be enough. That might be all I need. Put some water in there. Okay, I might label it. I might think that I don't need to label it. They're quite simple bits of equipment. I don't need to. Okay, but I can put some information off of this. I know that I need a pencil line. Okay, I know that my spot needs to be above the liquid. I can add that in. Okay, so any information I want to put about that, I'm going to put on that next level. Something else I've thought about while I was drawing that down, and things will come to you as you are going, so you can keep adding them in. Retention factor. Okay, I might need to know how to calculate that. When I've finished with that one, when I've added everything I can think of for that subsection, I choose another one and I move on to it. Okay, so I might choose, for example, to move on to potable water. Okay, and I start to think about this one. So what am I thinking about? I'm thinking about water that is safe to drink. Okay, and I would go on with that one and take each one in turn. You might find as you're going through that actually you want to make links, you want to join things together. That's absolutely fine. You can put arrows between different sections. You might think, oh, where I've put this, it doesn't make any sense. I haven't got enough room. I wanted this to be next to that so I could join those up. And you can redo your mind map. That is absolutely not a problem. Redoing things will reinforce that learning. It will make that knowledge even more secure. So it is a really good way of revising. Okay. If you've got any questions on that and you'd like any more information, then you've all got my email address. Please feel free to contact me. I hope you're doing really, really well. Thank you for listening. Bye.